This is the Being Your Own CEO Success Circle. And this morning we are going to look at setting up your YouTube channel. My name is Loan, and in my coaching and consulting work, I help solopreneurs stay focused and motivated as we take their business to the next level. And we do that with some simple structures and some pretty easy technology. So we'll be right back after this. Greetings wherever you are, and welcome to Being Your Own CEO. This is a weekly success circle intended as a support for solopreneurs. We get together because we enjoy each other's company, but we also like experimenting, exchanging ideas and information, and we all give and receive support. You can discover what we stand for by reviewing the operating principles on my webpage. So I want to welcome any viewers that might happen to be out there and to invite them to check in by telling us that they're there and where they are and what they do. So this morning we're going to try something a little bit more organized in terms of the comments this morning. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. So now it's time for the members on the panel to introduce themselves. Please briefly tell us your name and where you are and what you do, and be sure to share something that you're excited about. So I hear somebody just joined. I don't know who it is. Oh, it's Gina. Okay. So let's see. Who shall I pick on this morning to introduce themselves first? Nancy, how would you like to introduce yourself first this morning? You need to unmute yourself.
There we go. Well, good morning. And thank you for being here. My name's Nancy Kreitz. I'm in beautiful Victoria, British Columbia, where today is actually a glorious day. Mm-hmm. And I'm with Natural Health Made Simple. And I help people who are overwhelmed by all the conflicting information on natural health, particularly supplementation, become clear on just what it is that they need and how simple it can be, and that less really is more. And I'm a natural health practitioner. I'm a certified holistic nutritionist, supplementation specialist, and I teach Qigong and meditation. That's what I do.
Right on.
Thanks for having me today.
And I'm going to get involved with Nancy's Qigong this season.
Woo-hoo!
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
That'd be really nice.
Right on. Just because I've studied meditation, etc., but Qigong is just a little bit different, and so I'm really interested to get a sense of how that works. So, right on. How about you? Yeah. So, glad you're here this morning, Nancy.
Thank you.
So, Fred, how would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, Lola, and it's Fred Jones. I'm also in Victoria at the moment. I'm the creator of Our Future Leaders, which is a sort of cutting edge online youth group program session where we help youth expand their communication skills and leadership skills, helps boost their self-confidence and assist them when they become adults to become the leaders that, our world really needs, especially the way the world's changing. What I've been doing recently is, I'm still pet sitting, dog sitting, although I just finished one, so I'm somewhere else. Next week I'll be elsewhere. But I just wanted to mention, Jay's not here, but he mentioned the book, and I just finished going through this book. It's Tony Hsieh's book about Zappos. It's a wonderful book. I would also recommend it. I got it from the library. It's due back tomorrow, so I had to go through it quickly. But it's Delivering Happiness, A Path to Profits, Passion, and Purpose. It is an excellent book. So I second what Jay said.
Well, I got as far as downloading the Kindle version. I haven't even opened it yet. So I'm happy that you recommend it, so that we can, so that and that's giving me some motivation to get busy. So thank you.
It starts slowly, but by the end you realize what it's all about. It's wonderful.
Right.
A wonderful story, a wonderful message.
Right on. That's perfect. Well, thank you. So yeah, I don't know how Jay does it. He always seems to stumble on the greatest books. So okay, let's see. Who shall I ask now? David, how would you like to introduce yourself? You're new here. Well, you've been outside listening and viewing in the past, so this is your first time with us.
Yep, my name is Dave Flannery. Right now I'm working as a real estate agent with my wife called Team Flannery here in Rock Falls, Illinois. And I also do local websites through affordable websites for small businesses. I'm excited about two things today. I'm learning how to do infographics to add to my websites, and then I'm helping Loanne with monitoring the chat so that we can keep the chat up to date with the conversation.
And I was just absolutely thrilled when you emailed last week and volunteered. So thank you so much for that, David.
I am right now showing nobody else in chat.
Oh,
is that
okay.
What you see?
I'm not looking.
Is anybody else seeing anybody in chat? Because I want to make sure that I'm catching outside viewers.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think so. I think mine was the last comment where I am saying create YouTube channel, create a playlist, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
Right on.
Thank you much.
Well, Vivek, now that you're there, why don't you introduce yourself?
Namaste. My name is Vivek. Vivek Technology is my brand. I aim for simplicity, because simplicity is the ultimate in sophistication. That was a belief of Steve Jobs and Leonardo da Vinci. So I am proud to share their beliefs. And I aim for simplicity through sophistication, of course. So I am in England, United Kingdom at the moment. Here it is 5 o'clock in the evening. It is quite a nice day here. It's not raining or anything, but a bit cloudy. Other than that, it's
Right on. So welcome here, as usual.
Thank you.
I'm so glad that you come.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Gina.
Good morning, Gina Donaldson with Personal Passage Planning. I I summed it up the other day by saying, I help people do what they need to do, not what they want to do. So, and then sometimes I actually help them do what they want to do. But fundamentally, personal passage planning is about getting a very comprehensive grip on every aspect of your life and documenting it so that you are able to respond and recover from change. And if anything happens to you, you've put in place something where other people can help you. My excitement from my business perspective is that I've finished my beta version for an online service, and I'm just reviewing it now and waking up in the middle of the night going, oh, I forgot to mention that. And I think my other excitement is I think the cougar's back.
Oh.
Yeah. It was basically I was awake, but around 6 o'clock this morning, I heard the familiar sound, which I've only heard it once before, of a rattling in the corner of our bedroom, which is where I keep all my outside our bedroom, where I keep all my gardening equipment. And my instant impression was, I think the cougar's back, but this time I'm not going to jump out of bed and check because they move very quickly. And then this morning I read in the paper that he was over at Bow Street Park, which is just down the corner.
Oh.
And so I think we're back. I don't know if I'll make another TV debut, but I think I'm going to let them know that I suspect he was here this morning, even though I didn't see him. Young juvenile.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Well, did you look at the front page of today's newspapers? Talked about all the wildlife that's happening in and around Victoria.
Yeah, and that's why when Bruce just looked up where Bow Street Park was, because I couldn't remember which one that was, and it's just down the street.
Oh yeah. So this morning, was on the radio as well. A lady just off of Foul Bay Road was attacked by a bunch of deer.
Trampled.
Yes, knocked over and trampled. Yeah. So.
They're not all Bambis.
No, they're not.
And Nancy, I'd like to hear about your G conquest because I'm just looking for something new in the fall too.
Right on. Well, that's really good news. So, welcome here, Gina. Looking forward to your beta version of your course that you're doing for sure. Yeah, I've got all my stuff on the floor here in a pile waiting for me to do it.
And soon you're going to do what you need to do, but don't want to do it.
Yes, right. Oh dear, we do have fun here. So welcome, Gina.
Thank you.
So Alana.
Good afternoon. Greetings, everyone. Alana here, coming to you from Ireland. My company is ALB Digital Marketing Services. That's a new name, so it's not quite rolling off the tongue yet. I help people with their websites. I do the small stuff, so you don't have to. And I also have a few websites of my own where I do some affiliate marketing. So I'm, as far as I think is the theme today good news or something you're excited about?
No, the subject is setting up your YouTube channel. But
okay, gee, I'm so far behind.
But if you've got good news, you're welcome to share it.
Don't have anything special to announce, so I think I'll just leave it at that.
Alana, typically if someone knocks the door here and begins with the statement, I have good news, we actually typically shut the door on their face.
Okay, well, I won't give any news because I don't want the door shut in my face.
I mean, that's because they are witnesses of a particular religion, so I don't want to name it.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, I know where you're going there. Okay.
So I think I have everybody looking to see. I think I have everybody now. Now, I'm going to throw out a question and ask somebody to answer it because suddenly there's a leaf blower happening outside my door, so I need to go close it. So the question of the day is, what do you need to or want to consider as you think of having a YouTube channel? Okay? So somebody answer that question while I get up.
I think I'll take the question. You need to create a YouTube channel mainly because you have something to share. I don't know whether I understood the question correctly. Alana?
Well, I mean, I think YouTube is such a huge part of social media these days that it's one more piece of the puzzle that I think a lot of us need to keep in our hat. So for me, I would say I would like to be able to put out like 2 videos a month, if that's even possible. So far, I haven't even been able to get, my channel up. I mean, it's there, but it's not, it's not really doing much of anything. It's pretty much a mess. I've neglected it horribly. So, and now that I'm changing the name of my brand and etc., I have more work to do on that. So, but I think it's, in fact, to piggyback kind of off of what we talked about last week, we were talking about videos on your About Me page. And I think videos are very effective because you can really come across with your personality in a video. So that's why I think YouTube is definitely the way to go. And if you can manage to crank out 1 or 2 videos a month, I think you're flying.
So you're talking about frequency then. I'm sorry I didn't.
Yeah, mine would be consistency.
Yes.
Because that's my biggest problem.
Right. And I'm sorry I didn't hear what Vivek said, so I can't respond to that.
I probably misunderstood your question. I said you need to create a YouTube channel when you have a message to convey.
Well, that I think that's a good answer. I mean, just to create something without knowing what it's going to be about would be pretty crazy.
Well, I think it's a powerful educational tool, like piggybacking on what everyone else has spoken about. And I know this is not really the word, but it's offering your information, sharing your information with people in more of a 3-dimensional way, even though I know it's not 3-dimensional, but compared to just text on a page. And I loved what you said, Alana, I believe, about your personality coming through.
Yeah.
So people really get a much richer sense of who you are and what you're about, your energy and all that stuff. So,
for sure.
But again, right? Like I'm thinking I have to go buy one of those stands, or it's complex. Once you step into that world, it's a little bit, geez, it's enough writing a blog. But anyway, that's a good topic today because, I feel myself, and I imagine not just myself, find it just a little bit overwhelming and maybe a little bit scary to put ourselves front and center like that.
You mean a stand like this?
Oh, I guess so. I mean just to stand to hold my phone.
Oh, you mean a selfie stand?
Yeah, selfie stand, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
but that can be a bit later. You don't have to start with that.
Right.
You just hold it?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, whoa.
Apparently that makes you more endearing.
Yeah.
When you're holding it?
Yeah, when you're first starting out, people say, don't worry about it. Don't worry about perfection. Don't worry about equipment. Just start doing it. You'll get more comfortable with it, and people won't mind as long as you're not, even if you're just walking down the street. I mean, I think they say just do it. It's a Nike thing.
Okay. Oh, I heard this morning people are burning their Nikes, by the way.
Yes, I heard that too.
I mean, that's actually quite true when you think about it, because I have this fear of doing the whole video scene. And that's one of the reasons why it takes me so long to do one, because I absolutely agonize over how things are situated. Should it be this? Should it be that? But then, like recently, because a lot of us work for ourselves in our own homes or out of our own homes, video is a great avenue when you think about sharing information, just even having a conversation. I was having a conversation with a neighbor not too long ago, a few hours back. We're sharing information. I'm thinking that's really what you're doing when you're doing a video. If it's a how-to video or latest iPhone tips or whatever it is, you're just talking to a camera. You're not talking, you may not be talking to anybody in the room. You're just talking to a camera. So yeah, I think it's a great, and the thing that makes it great is the imperfections, because people don't want to see a perfect person, right?
No.
They don't want to see somebody in a stuffy suit trying to sell them something, right?
Yeah, when it is too perfect, it appears to be made up, or
It loses its humanity.
yeah.
Yeah. So, David,
That's-
I thought I heard you trying to jump in there.
Yes, I did. We
Yeah.
use our YouTube channel for showcasing a house, and then also for testimonials for people that we've done service for. And we find that the videos are the best way for the best testimonial you can get. People really think that those are you've got someone telling you that they're telling them that we've done a great job, and it's believable because we're not using actors. We're using the people that actually got the house or closed on the house and whatnot.
So
that's
yeah,
our-
you don't. So what? Basically, I think what you're pointing to, David, is you don't need. I mean, there are several ways that you can do this. I mean, you don't need to be just sitting in front of a camera and just talking at the camera. You can. I mean, all of mine are recordings of these meetings, these success circles that we have. And there are a few others where I interviewed somebody. And there's a few others where we had a three-way conversation. Nancy and I and Sue Ferreira did a whole series on embracing aging. So, I mean, there's a whole variety of things that you can do. It doesn't have to be just standing in the front of the camera and talking at it. There are lots of things that can be done. I watched a couple of things on YouTube, actually, and one guy said the reason there's the things that he raised. He said, keep it simple. Don't think you have to be really, really complex to start off with. So keep it really simple. And you folks have referred to what he called establishing your voice. So this is a way to do that, is your personality and your voice. But you do need to decide what your channel is going to be about. And it's not unlike, I mean, the person I listened to was saying basically the same things that we have been talking about. Mira's book about, what you're doing in terms of blogging. It's the same thing, like figuring out what it's going to be about and where it's going to go and so forth. So what sort of topics that you think you might be doing. And the other thing that this chap said was to not worry about all the equipment to begin with, as others have said here. But one thing that is critical is good sound. And
Yeah.
I think we've heard that over and over and over. That
Sound is the most important thing I have heard. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're gonna buy equipment, the most important thing would be a good microphone.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's great, and I get what you're saying. But if you're walking down the street, that wouldn't be the case, right?
No.
So that would be more for a formal recording
No,
session. And
even
how would
when
that
you-
work? Like in terms of informality? I'm just really curious, and what brand would you buy and all of those things?
No, even when you are walking down the street, it's preferable you use your hands-free kit or something with your phone,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
so that your voice is more prominent
Yeah.
than the background noise. When you're walking, maybe you're walking in a busy street,
Mm-hmm.
traffic around you,
Mhm.
other people talking, all that can be very distracting to the viewer. So unless you have the
Yeah.
um,
There's a little
microphone,
there's a little
mic-
microphone that you can pin on your collar.
Yeah.
And it plugs into your phone. Yeah. So that and when I hear people speaking about doing a video walking down the street, it always makes me think, well, I don't know how many of those I've watched that I found very unpleasant because the wind was blowing and it affects the sound.
Yeah.
So walking down the street is not necessarily going to give you the best production.
Yeah, there are video bloggers I have seen who do that, walk down the street, walk down the. I've seen people filming themselves walking into the airport and all that, and yeah, I've not seen them going through the security check while being filmed. But
Right. So yeah, but I mean
but
there's
I agree. It's not really it's not an informative video as such. It's maybe you get to connect with that person. Maybe social.
yeah.
One thing that I use is a open source software called Autoocity, and that helps me clean up my audio. And there's the tutorial on a YouTube tutorial on how to use it, and you just follow the steps and it cleans it up, and you can take out certain things, and you can be in a room that's got a little bit of echo, and it'll take that out, and it just cleans it up, and it makes it so much better than that. And
Wow.
the soft I use oh boy, I forget the name of the software, but it allows me to separate my audio. Camtasia.
Yes.
It allows me to separate the audio from the video, and then I can move that into a audio file and then clean it up and then take it back in. And it works really well.
So David, if you wouldn't mind, add that information in the comments on the webpage so that if anybody comes back, they'll see that. Yeah.
Okay.
Right on. So so we talked about these are all things to think about and to consider before you even begin. So, but then once you're ready to set up a channel, there are all kinds of little videos showing you how to do that. In fact, if you look in the comments section on the website, I posted a link to an informative YouTube video that kind of walks you through the steps. And I think almost everybody knows that you do need a Gmail account in order to do that, and that you when you go into YouTube and set things up, there's a verification process that has to happen. and then you just go into my channel and you set it up. And it's not unlike, in a sort of a way, sort of setting things up on your website. So you have to put your little picture in and your banner, etc. And then you can start to upload your videos. So, and the other thing that a lot of people probably are not aware of is that you want to create a playlist. And so that's something that I didn't do for quite a while until, I had quite a few videos up there. And then I realized that, if anybody comes there, they don't want to run through everything that's there. It's by creating a playlist, it categorizes, it puts your videos into various categories. So that helps to organize everything. And when you're setting up the front page of your channel, of course, what you want to do is create a welcome video to put there. So that would be the first thing you would want to do. So then from there on, it's as Alana said, consistency and doing it on a regular basis. So let's think about what for each person, what topic might you think about? What kind of topics might you think about doing and putting it into a channel? So David has already said he does house tours and testimonials about the property, etc. So, David, is there anything else in terms of what you're doing? Not your real estate business, but you're doing your website, etc. What else what might you do?
Well, what I'm going to be doing is setting up videos for some of the people I'm servicing. I've got a home inspector. I want to go out with him when he does his home inspections. And do some videos of him doing the inspection, kind of introducing what he's going to do and introducing himself. So that's kind of where I'm going next with YouTube videos and setting up his his video presence and working with him to get that going.
And then maybe create a website for him.
Well, I am creating a website for him. That's the whole idea.
Okay. Right on.
I'm setting it up. I'm trying to get him. I'm meeting with him Thursday, and we're signing the contract, and everything's go. And so.
Right on.
That's.
David, you just brought up a point which I am struggling with to set up for one of my clients, and this is a very important aspect to be noted by solopreneurs in particular. As a solopreneur, if you let someone else create your website, create your YouTube channel, and social media presence and everything else, make sure that ultimately you are the owner, not the developer, not because the case I have here is he wants me to set up his YouTube channel, but his website developers are a little bit old-fashioned, or I don't know. I don't want to say anything more about them. He's in the process of changing them, changing to a different provider. So, but the point is, when you have your YouTube channel, you should be able to link your YouTube channel to your website.
Yes.
If you cannot do that, then there is no point.
Yeah.
because when you create a YouTube channel and you start getting subscribers and get people into your website, into your YouTube channel, you then want to direct them to your website. For that, you have to connect it. There is a specific process which has to be done through YouTube. Actually, for YouTube, you have to prove that you own
Own
the
it.
specific website
Mm-hmm.
that you are trying to link.
Mm-hmm.
Only then they will link your website with the YouTube channel. If you don't do that, then there is no real point. I mean,
So where, Vivek, where do you, like, I did this so long ago. I may have done it. So where would you do that linkage?
It's actually in one of the settings within YouTube.
Oh, okay.
And it says verify. I mean, when you say want to link your website to this channel, it will give you either a code.
Oh, it's that's part of the verification process.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
That code you'll have to
Mm-hmm.
put it on your website, and that YouTube should be able to check your website and verify that. If it can't, then it will say no, we can't verify. We are unable to verify, and your
Mm-hmm.
connection will remain. Connection between your channel and the website will remain unconnected. I mean,
Okay, so there's a very important piece, as you said. So if you've got somebody else doing your creating your website, that person needs to go. You have to give them that link to put that in the back of your website. Or if you are managing, if you're a do-it-yourselfer like I am, you need to go in there and know where to put that link.
yeah. YouTube itself, when you try to do that, gives you sufficient instructions. I think there is also they also show you a short video how to do that. So,
Okay.
yeah. But as I said in one of the comments, you should be open to learning new things. If you're not, then
You're right.
then you still have to open your purse or your wallet, whichever it is.
Right.
Pay someone else to do it.
Right. So that's an interesting piece, and I don't even. I mean, I set my channel up so long ago. I don't remember whether I did that or not. I guess I better go check. But certainly, I mean, if anybody has ever gone and looked at my website, I have, I have a way of embedding those videos in on my website. So there's a back and forth here. So
Yeah, that you can embed any video actually.
yeah.
Unless the video owner specifically prohibits others from embedding their video, you can embed any video into your website. But that is not why
Not the
you
same. No.
connect your website to YouTube channel. The reason why you need to connect your YouTube channel to your website is because they both belong to you, and only when you prove to YouTube saying this is your website and they verify it and say yes, whoever comes to your YouTube channel will have a better chance of seeing your website. Otherwise, no.
And that's, I mean, what we're doing is we're inferring something that Jay usually brings up at some point, is that we want to be working on our own real estate as much as we can. And so the reason you do the YouTube is so that people will go to your real estate. Right. Good point. Right on. So Gina, what about you? I mean, in this whole world of what you're doing, can you think of a way that you might make use of a YouTube channel?
Sure, because I think I'll tell you what I wouldn't do, just for starters. I wouldn't give the how. I would leave that to people who actually went to either my website or soon my training course. I think what I would do is I would tell stories about why we need to put these sort of plans in place and how we should change our thinking, and why it would matter. Because most people don't want to have these conversations, and it may not have occurred to them, even if they've lost friends, at various ages. I think, I say to people, you're never too young to die. They're like, what? I'm like, it's true. Check the paper. So I think that's what I would do. I would actually just start telling short stories about people, maybe their what had happened when they didn't prepare, but also just day-to-day things about how life can change pretty quickly. So I think I would make it all about life, another life event, and then losing your job is a life event, and lots of people get really shocked when they get to work and the door's locked.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a really, really good distinction you just made. I would tell the story, but I wouldn't give the how, because you have someplace else that you want them to go to get the how.
That is a very good point. I mean, I always try to emphasize on why you want to do anything. How you want to do something is actually your expertise, and people will have to pay you for getting use of that expertise. So you don't need to share that how knowledge with the rest of the world. Not always, no. I can share small bits and pieces here and there, but
That's a really interesting point. Really, really a powerful point. And we were talking last week about me emailing Mira. I emailed her and said, I write a blog fairly regularly, maybe not so much this summer, and I get no engagement at all, ever. Or, and anything I put up there, I'll answer, blah, blah. She said, you're probably giving away too much information. So they don't need to know more. So they don't need to pick up the phone. They don't need to email you because they got the idea. They've got it, right? So that's a perfect example right there of
Interesting. So telling
I got to look at the way I do things. And I love that, telling short stories rather than like, oh, and then if you do this and this and this and this, you're going to experience this and this and this. And like, good to go.
It's I don't remember the exact quote, but I don't know whether it is Einstein or Ford who said you simplify it so much, but only so much, not
don't give the whole package away.
Make them curious, I guess, hey? Or
so the why and the engender curiosity. Good. Okay.
Instill fear. Fear and worry.
Yeah.
That's a good
Burning
one.
platforms.
But you can't instill fear into people who believe they are
Invincible.
They are immortal. They are now going to die.
Oh, are you sure I can't? Are you really sure? Give me a try.
Oh, you guys. But I mean, Gina, you're what you're doing. I mean, for sure, telling stories will be really, really effective. I'm already got the story running in my head. So now, Fred, what about your group and what you're doing? How would you? I know you are making use of YouTube, but are you thinking of going further with that, or how would you, and if so, how would you present that?
Yes, certainly, Loan. It's I think it's a major key element is YouTube. I understand it's the most, after Google, it's the second largest search engine. So when people are looking for information, where do they go? Google and then YouTube. So it's important if you have a message to use YouTube. In that case, what I would do and what I plan to do is every time I post a blog, I would do a short video just introducing that subject and in saying, if you want to know more, here's what it's about, and if you're interested. I think a couple of things you mentioned as well during this conversation is very key. It is, who's your target audience? It's all right to just be walking along the street saying, oh, I'm walking along the street and isn't it pretty? You know, it's lovely. Who's going to be interested in that? But if you're saying I'm walking along the street and this is to my target audience, which is what you mentioned, what Mira Cothan says. Who is it you're addressing, and have your avatar and say, okay, I'm going to tell them about I'm walking along the street and this is something they would be interested in. And as Gina said, stories are most powerful method. People remember stories before anything else. The other thing that I think was mentioned was, David mentioned the sound. And that comes back to Roland, because the last thing he did, one of the last things he did for me was, I had done some videos which he helped me put on my website to introduce what I'm doing, the program for young people. And he edited the sound, put it into a program because it was too much bass. And he said, you got to get it and then put it back up. So that's very important. And another thing, somebody said, what microphone do you use? Now, previously I used to use a headset, so I couldn't wear this hat. But I just purchased a microphone, and it was something that Roland told me, and it's the Samsung Go Mic Direct. It's a very little microphone.
Wow.
And it just plugs into the YouTube, into the, on the side of the, you know,
USB.
Yeah, USB, thank you. And that's the microphone I'm using now. And it frees me from having, you know, my headset on. And it was something that Roland just recommended. It came after he, you know, after he passed away.
Wow.
But I ordered it from him. You know, he suggested I try it because he had just tested it himself. So it's important. And somebody said, well, what do you buy? Well, that's the microphone you're hearing me on now.
And it sounds really good.
So that's an example of what sort of microphone, and it's not that expensive. But it is a good microphone, better than normally what you'd use, or there's a lot of microphones, but that's a very inexpensive and very portable, because it comes in a little box. It goes in this little box when you pack it away. So
wow. So that looks as though it would be most suitable for working with a laptop.
Yes, exactly. And it's on my laptop, and I am, as you know, very mobile. I move from week to week. So this is a perfect little microphone. I had a bigger Samsung, which I borrowed, and I was testing with him. But that is for when you're a permanent setup, and you're not going to move. But this, because I'm portable, this is a wonderful method of.
And so could you say the name of that again, so that, or tell us?
Samsung Go Mic Direct.
Go Mic Direct.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is Samsung, not Samsung.
That's correct.
Not the phone company.
No, they make a lot of microphones, all types, all styles.
Even I'm using a Samsung microphone, but mine regular.
And I have one of those as well, not the same, but it's a Meteor, and I was using that. But it's awkward when you're mobile as I am. So this is what Roland suggested. And again, what David said, you can always edit your audio as well. And it is probably the most important. That was something that Roland always said.
Yes.
Now
being the great sound man that he was. Right.
And the other thing I think that hasn't been brought up, it's scary. to do videos, especially if you haven't done it. And so we hesitate. Oh, they're going to see me, and they're going to see my wrinkles, or whatever it is, or my bald spot, or what. And we don't look as good as we. But the challenge is, as it was said, just do it. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. So you have to start somewhere. So put yourself as a schedule, and something that Mira Cotthand would say, what is your list of, set a schedule and say, these are the topics I'm going to cover that address my audience. Not just anything, but who is my target audience, and what are the things that I want to tell them. And
David is holding,
like she says about blog posts, but do the same with this. Get and then start doing it. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. And that comes back to Toastmasters, where I am. The first time you get up to speak in front of a group of people, you're normally nervous and shaking. But as you do it, the more you do it, the easier it gets. Like riding a bicycle. At first, it's hard, but after a while.
I think David is holding up his microphone.
What is that microphone, David?
That's a Movo VXR10. That is what I'm going to. And I got this so I could put it on top of my DSLR and do interviews with it, because the camera microphone does not work. And what I've been using is my phone and the camera at the same time, and that's just doesn't work very well. And I'm going to be going to this and trying to hook it up into my computer systems. So next week you may not see my headset, and I'll be wearing a hat, just like Fred.
I love it. Well, just in case anybody wants to know, here, I don't know if I can show mine. Here's mine. It's the cord is too short. I can't. This is what they call a Blue Yeti. So it sits on my desk, and it's a directional one. And normally I really don't need to have these in, except because of what I'm doing with OBS. I have to for this, but normally I don't. So yeah. So I mean. Well, we are sort of emphasizing this whole business about having good sound, and it is important. Yeah.
Are there any mics people would recommend for the good old cell phone?
Oh, I have.
Like, would that be like those wireless headset-y things?
This one here, the one that I just showed you, this here is set up. It can be used with the phone, and it can be put on top. There's an adapter in my bag that I've got of all my stuff that'll attach it to the phone, and it has a cord that you switch out to hook it to the phone jack, mic jack. So and it's a little bit heavier than what I would like on a phone, but it would work.
Okay. And that's Movo. What was the complete name of that one?
MOVO, and it's an VXR10.
Okay. Thanks, David.
And Nancy, I don't want to get up and get it, but I have one that it's a lapel one, and I'll post what it's called in the comment section after we're done. Okay. So yeah, I've used that.
One thing I would point out is before you jump up and pull out your purse, wallet, and pay for a microphone, please do read a few reviews and so on, and then buy the one which you think is more suitable for you. Because microphones can be from $10 to $10,000. So.
Yes, I agree with you, Vic. This is not an expensive mic here. I'm on an extreme tight budget, and this is I read all the reviews. It's the best one that I could find for the price that I got it at. And then I'm just pointing out that one's not an expensive one, but you can get extremely expensive mics. It's like my headset. My headset's a $30 headset.
And the reason why I'm saying that is even the type of microphone can be different. You need a unidirectional one if you are in a noisy environment or likely to be in a noisy environment. You need a omnidirectional one if you are in a quiet place and you want the microphone to be away from your face, out of the camera's view, and all that. So
Yeah.
there are quite a few things you need to consider. So I'm saying yes, we can suggest a few, but
Yeah.
do
Do your
read
due
about
diligence. Do your
Yes.
due
This
diligence.
is very directional microphone. It's designed to be on top of a camera pointing at someone
Yeah. Yeah.
that's 5 feet away and picking up their voice, or 5 to 10 feet away, and it excludes all the background noise, and you even get a nice muffle that goes. I don't know if
Yeah.
you can see it very well.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
that goes over it to help with the wind noise and whatnot. But it would not. I don't know how well it will work for my setting up in my computer room to talk to, because I have to talk directly to it. I mean, it won't probably pick up if I turn sideways.
Right.
Let's get the window out of there and then get me back in.
Yeah. Right. So I think we beat the sound thing to death. But I wanted to go back to Fred, because I wanted everybody to be aware that Fred has been doing some work with his students, and you've done some hangouts on air, and they're recorded. And where did I find that? Did I find that on your website? I think I did.
Yes, it's on my website under video. Again, that was a tip from Roland. I think if you ask what do we plan to put on, I mentioned when I do a blog post, I think I would like to put that on, just an introduction. But then also, as we do the sessions with young people, I think this is a great tool for the young people, first of all, to see what others are doing and say, hey, I want to do that. For parents to see what their children are able to do. And then for moderators to be able to say, oh, I can set those up and I'd be happy to do that. So it's a great marketing tool for me, for all levels of people involved. And to get it out, it's so much easier to explain when they can see it rather than have to talk or write. It is the best medium.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's very valuable. It might be scary, as I said up front, but the more you do, the easier it gets, like riding a bicycle. So we have to do it.
Yes, we do.
It is the second most popular search engine. Most people look to see, as you've referred to a couple times, you want to know how to learn to set up a YouTube channel? Go to YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was going to, it for me, for today, it didn't really make sense to go in and say, this is, step 1, step 2, step 3, because there are dozens of little videos in there that will show you how to do it. Yeah. So, Alana, what about you? Now, I think it was you that suggested this as a topic, and you did mention that you had set something up originally, but you need to kind of make some changes. How do you see yourself using it in the future?
Well, I think it would be more for my affiliate marketing websites. So I have two. I have the Empty Nester blog and I have the Techie Travel Bits. So I don't have it set up for Techie Travel Bits, but I do have it set up for Empty Nester blog. But I haven't put up, I think I've only put up a couple of videos, and that's going back a couple of years, but that's before I changed the name and kind of rebranded it. But I would probably use it for that. As far as my other business where I do work locally, I'm not sure how I would make videos for that.
May I jump in?
Yes.
You need to see something that Vivek has done. He
Okay.
has he has been to a local networking group and given them a presentation. Vivek, tell Alana how you did that.
Yeah, in the local networking group, I told them 2 stories. As an Indian, you can't take stories out of an Indian. So I told them 2 stories. One story of a busy businessman where things go all horribly wrong, and he uses all the required devices and so on, but everything goes wrong. And the second story is using the same characters. I changed the circumstances and the way he uses the technology. And this one is a happy businessman story. So what Lowell Ann is referring to is I created a video here in my room, not in the during the presentation. I created a video of that and then put that up on YouTube. So everyone else can see those 2 stories and relate to that.
So is that under Wake Technology? Is that your channel on YouTube?
It's on, yes, it is.
So if I Googled Wake Technology on YouTube, I'd find it?
If you Google, I don't know, you may or may not, because
Why don't you put a link in the comments and I'll post it for you?
Yeah, how brave are you, Vivek?
Those stories have been there on the website for a long time, but anyway.
Yeah. But I wanted Alana, you were I know that you have been promoting a certain aspect of your business locally. And I mean, if you got an opportunity to give a presentation, you could create some kind of a story of the, you know, the why or the fear, or to create whatever you want and use it as a promotion locally.
Yeah, and there's a woman that does something similar to me that's in one of my networking groups, and I looked on her website and I thought it was very effective that she has a video of herself on her homepage that you can click, and it's in the sidebar, so it's not obnoxious. It's not taking up the whole page. It's in the sidebar. You can click on it. It doesn't even get that big. And she basically explains what her business is, who she works for, who her clients are, and that sort of thing. And I thought it was a fantastic way to talk to your audience. It's like having a one-on-one interview with a prospective customer without having the other customer on the other end in front of you. You know, so I thought that was pretty good.
I did one more thing actually, which was I have created you might have read comic books, at least in your young age. I created a comic book style page with the presentation slides, which takes you through the story. So I'll put the link to that.
Yeah, put the link up, because I'm dying to see it now.
Yeah.
Piqued my curiosity.
But what about your empty nester now? I mean, I know that you've posted some things. What would you do there? Would you do as Fred was suggesting, maybe do a little clip that introduces your blog, or would you do something that would be embedded into your blog? How would you do that?
Well, I think that would be a great way to start. Like, same thing with I would prefer to put those videos on the website and probably even on the homepage, because I think that they would be very effective. I know how impressed I was when I saw it on this other lady's website. but again, you do have to store them on YouTube anyway, because you can't really load them on your website. They take too long to load, and they're just going to slow down your site. So you do have to use YouTube for that anyway.
Right.
But yeah, I think I would probably go down that road. But the videos that I have used on Empty Nester have been a combination of my own videos and videos I have found on YouTube, depending on if it's a review I'm doing. Normally they're for reviews, and if I'm reviewing a product, it's my video. And if I'm doing a video that don't have firsthand product,
Mm-hmm.
I'm using a video online. So.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. So, I mean, when you start to think about it, there's all kinds of different ways to make use of all of these. Yeah. So now, Nancy, I'm looking at our time, but Nancy, what about? I know that you have a few. Yeah. So my doorbell is ringing. So go ahead, and I'm going to go out.
What the heck? I'll wait till she gets back, I guess.
Hello.
She's having a busy morning.
Come on up.
Maybe it's the leaf blower.
So while we're waiting for Lowell Ann to come back, Vivek, I'm looking at a video on YouTube. It says, "Welcome to waketechnology.com."
Mm-hmm.
So that would be your channel.
Yeah,
What is the name of the video?
there are quite a few. You would also see a few playlists.
Okay, so
And here's another thing I want to emphasize, or you don't have to create a playlist after you have finished the videos. You can build a playlist automatically by including a keyword in the description, and that keyword you can set up a playlist so that it auto populates every video on your channel which has that keyword. So once you have that keyword in a video, it gets populated into that playlist. So
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I'll just talk a minute about
Yeah.
my video.
So
And,
what?
so-
Yeah. How did you make use of it?
Well, I was lucky. I think I mentioned this before. My friend and a Qigong gal, who you probably met, Lorraine, worked for Shaw Cable here, right? And
Yeah.
they do a local show. They used to do a show, Island One or whatever, just featuring local
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Yeah.
My Qigong, actually, she was interested in. So I was really lucky, I would say, in that we met like at Beacon Hill Park or down by the ocean, and she did the video. She did the video work, which is professional, right? With professional gear,
Mhm.
she calls it.
Mm-hmm.
And then she took it back to her editing suite and edited it. And what I love is how she did voiceover, and it's like, she takes my voice, like that, the audio, and has it playing, like showing me a bit, showing like the waves in the ocean or the birds at Beacon Hill. So that was a professional job, right? And she is available to do independent
Mhm.
work now, because she's
Mm.
Shaw's really offering big packages. But that's how I got those videos, and it's a little intimidating to have such professional works out there, and then to like, hi there, here I am. But I do know that those are very authentic, and I use it, and I'm a little shy, I have to admit. It's on my homepage, but kind of further down, and I keep toying with, should I just move it right up and have my words under? Will people read it, or will people click away? And then I have one on the About Me page too.
Yeah.
So,
I was going to say that to you, Nancy. Yes, those professionally done ones are kind of nice, but you shouldn't feel intimidated by doing something that's totally yours and totally personal, because it's two different things. People will see the difference.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should I move it up on my page? You probably haven't seen it. I know. I think a few of us in this group who've been doing mirrors work, I've just spent this last week intensely redoing my website, like rewriting it, new niche, all of that stuff. And it's like, right? And a new opt-in, which I finally got up yesterday.
Mm.
But yeah, it's intense. And then it's just like, okay, where do I fit all this other stuff in?
Well, maybe just try different ways. I mean, you're managing your own website now, so you can move things around if you want to.
Yeah. And I have to say that Wealthy Affiliate has changed my life in terms of doing it myself. They are so supportive, and it's just really been a good impetus to kind of keep me going. So,
yeah, I agree.
Sure, we're grateful. Thanks, guys.
So the other thing that I might mention is that what I've done with some of my earlier success circles is I've gone in and got the captions done, and so that I could go in and look at the time and create some timestamps, and then I've posted that video inside the blog post and put the timestamps down below. And this is I've done it a couple of times now as an experiment to see, with the idea of making more making more uses of one thing. So yeah.
Another thing I'd like to bring up on that note is I've seen several, like they're not really videos anymore, but it's a recording and someone has an image, right? And they're talking, like a lot of those teach trainings, or even YouTube videos. It's really not the person anymore. It's an image of them or an image of whatever they're talking about. How effective do you think those are?
Well, I would say that if it's a video that's really, really informative, that's really, really educational, then it probably would be fine. Yeah, it depends on what it is, on what the niche is, and who you're doing it for. Yeah.
Because I could just have two big plastic bags full of supplements.
Yes.
And say, this is the first thing I see when I begin working with the client. And when they leave with 3 bottles. Muscle testing, so I know most of that stuff is not serving them well. But, yeah.
Use your creativity.
You could go from this
to this. Right.
What feels better?
Yeah. Oh dear. Well, I'm looking at the time, and we've gone over as usual. So I hope that we've covered enough information here to encourage anybody who thinks they would like to do some YouTube work, that they will actually go and do it. So I would, unless anybody has a parting shot. Oh, that's right. If Jay isn't here, but maybe Fred is gone. Fred has dropped off. He usually has a meeting. Well, Ned, then I can't give Fred the last word as we usually do. So I will have the last word with a reminder that it's important to do what you love with passion. And we shall see you again next Tuesday. So bye for now. Now.